We are going into the fourth quarter of this week's Countdown to Kickoff show. Steve Budin along with Al DeMarco welcoming all of you that happen to watch the first three segments over on foxsports.com or DirecTV or Dish Network. Welcome back, everyone. Let's motor on. First game is going to be New Orleans, Detroit. The Saints, I used them on Monday night. How easy was that one against the Giants? Just an easy game. But again, they're playing at home where they're 5-0 straight up and against the spread this season, outscoring their foes by an average of 41-19 in those games. This Lions team has fallen apart. Defensively, you can run on this team at will, and they can't run the ball.
Yeah, experienced teams know how to turn it on when it counts. And I think that's what we're seeing with New Orleans here. They're peaking at the perfect time. I'm going to lay the big wood here with them. I think they outclass this team.
Two interesting trends here to talk about. First of all, the Saints are 0-4 against the spread in the game following their last four Monday Nighters. The Lions, in their games this year, the straight-up winner is 10-0-1 against the spread. I still don't think that means anything because I still think the Saints are going to roll by double digits in this one.
Absolutely. Drew Breesy for Sheezy, too hot to handle. That's where I'm going.
Okay, next one is going to be Minnesota and Denver. True, the Broncos are playing for the fourth time in 5 weeks on the road, but does it matter? I mean, Tim Tebow is 4-0 straight up and against the spread in those four previous road games. And the Broncos, as you all know, are 5-1 straight up and against the spread with Tebow as the starting quarterback, running that spread option attack, relying on the 34-year-old running back who's having a career year and Willis McGahee. But almost overlooked in all the Tebow mania is the fact that these Broncos are playing very good defense.
Pick 'em?
Yeah, I guess. I know.
I mean, that just doesn't seem right. I mean, what does Tim Tebow have to do to convince the odds makers that he's an NFL quarterback? And like you said, it's the Denver defense. And whenever you have Denver in a situation against a mediocre team or worse, they're always going to win because their defense plays hard for Tebow. They keep Tebow in the game, and he always comes through for them. I really don't understand this line other than they just invested so much in hating Tebow that the general public just is waiting for Tebow to finally lose, and they keep betting against him every week, and the lines makers are reacting to what they're seeing out in the public. I disagree. I'm going with Denver here. I think it's a huge play. I'm going to take Denver, pick them. I think they win this game and win outright.
I mean, when you consider that Denver went to San Diego last week and the Chargers are a much more dynamic offensive team because they're healthier than the Minnesota Vikings are right now, and you've got Phillip Rivers, no matter the poor season he's having, versus Christian Ponder, a rookie making, I think, his 7th NFL start. And again, you look at this line. I mean, you have to get on the Tebow bandwagon. Worst thing for the Denver franchise probably is that they're probably going to have a shot at making the playoffs, that they're going to probably finish above 500 because it means they're going to get a lower draft pick. And this is not a good team when you're relying on a veteran journeyman being your top running back and a guy who may not have a real long-term NFL future. But for this week, today, that's all we care about, and the Broncos are the play.
Nothing funnier than seeing Elway clap after the game, but he really can't smile. It's almost like he's Botox. He's trying to smile, but he can't. Look, at the end of the day, another thing comes in play. We're in week 13 now, and when your team doesn't have a shot for the playoffs, and you're in week 13, the players, they start to think about vacation already. They're already dialing it in. They're mailing it in. It's over for them. I mean, they don't want to get hurt. You don't see them jumping up for balls anymore. They're just packing it in, and I think that's what we're going to see here with Minnesota.
Okay, team looking to rebound is going to be San Francisco. Of course, they were manhandled physically in that 16-6 Thanksgiving night loss to Baltimore on the road. Ravens just attacked Alex Smith, and I felt bad for Alex Smith in that game. Sacked 9 times in that contest. Only the 49ers' second loss this season, so they're in a rebound spot. But hey, my goodness, this is a team that's 9-1-1 against the spread so far this year, including 5-0-1 at home. A team that's 13-1-1 against the spread, and Alex Smith's last 15 home starts. I like them to rebound here because they're playing St. Louis. And what has St. Louis shown you so far this season?
Right, and the big knock on San Francisco was the soft schedule this year, and they haven't really played any great teams yet. But St. Louis, they're not a great team, so I'm not going to listen to that criticism. I'm going to lay the 13.5 points here with the team that's better, that's San Francisco.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, 49ers held to a season-low 170 yards last week at Baltimore, but they've got the 2 extra days prep time here, so that helps them. They're playing at home. They've got Frank Gore. They ought to be able to run through this St. Louis Swiss cheese defense that cannot stop the run. And, they're giving up almost 142 yards a game and 4.7 yards per carry to opposing backs. Plus, the St. Louis offensive line gives Sam Bradford no protection. 39 sacks allowed already this year, and we know the 49ers defense brings it, so I agree with you. I think you go ahead, Who cares? 2 touchdowns, lay it with San Francisco in this spot. Next game, Dallas getting no respect despite winning 4 in a row because probably on Thanksgiving they barely beat Miami, a team
Holding
that they
on
should
for
have
dear
shellacked.
life against Miami and against Washington.
Yeah, exactly. 2 straight games where they've really underperformed, and they're only 2-13 against the spread their last 15 games laying the points. But still, this is an awfully cheap price. I know Arizona's coming off the 2-1 road trip, which included wins against St. Louis and Philadelphia, and I know they've done it without Kevin Cobb. And I know Beanie Wells had a monster game last week for them, running for 228 yards. But I can't get my hands wrapped around Arizona in this spot. If I had to play it, I got to lay it with Dallas.
Historically, Arizona always plays Dallas tough at home in Tempe, and I think that's because there's so many Cowboy fans at the stadium that the players get pissed and they play hard. But I'm with you. I think there's no way Dallas can blow this game. We've seen Romo go from, choke to clutch lately in the last few games. I like that. I like the way he's wearing that outfit on Dallas. Oh, look, at the end of the day, 4.5 points, not enough points here. Dallas is going to crush them.
And something also to remember about Dallas's defense. On the road this season, 5 road games, they've had 20 quarterback sacks, 4 sacks per game. You've got an Arizona offensive line that's given up 36 sacks in 11 games, no matter who started at quarterback. So DeMarcus Ware is going to have a field day, I think, and I think you go ahead and lay it with the Cowboys. The Packers and the Giants. I pointed out when I went with the Saints last Monday night that I just didn't think the Giants were that good. I mean, I know they upset New England, in New England, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, what have you done for me lately? You were embarrassed at home by Philadelphia. You lost a tough game at San Francisco. You were embarrassed at New Orleans. This is an injury-riddled team. Everybody likes to talk about this defense, but, the Giants give up a ton of points, and they can't run the ball on offense. This is a bad spot. I know the Packers, whether they go undefeated is a moot point. Can they cover this number here? I think this line is compressed. It's low because everybody keeps saying this is the week the Giants are going to make a run for it and play well.
Or this is the week that the Packers are going to lose.
Collapse.
I've got that sign over my money box that I always tell you about. Whenever you can lay 7 or less with the Packers, just do it. And if you've been doing it all season, you got plenty of bankroll, so you shouldn't be worried. This Giants team, guys, if they were a horse, they'd be shot. They are done. Finished. They're not playing for their coach anymore. Like I said before, they're already at a stage of the season where they're not going anywhere, and they know it. They're already on vacation. I'm going against them.
They've only covered 6 of their last 21 games at home, and this defense has given up an average of about 25.2 points a game on average this season. And I keep thinking about the Monday night game. Drew Brees just dissected this secondary of the Giants like a guy with surgical precision. Doesn't matter that the Giants have a lot of quarterback sacks. Minnesota has a lot of quarterback sacks. And you know what the difference is between these two teams when it comes to their pass defense? Nothing. Giants and the Vikings, both near the bottom of the NFL standings. And you look at Aaron Rodgers, 72% completions.
It's not getting any easier for the Giants this week.
72% completions, 33 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions. I mean, if Brees carves them up, I'm going to lay the points with Green Bay in this one, and they are another team that are benefiting from the extra couple of days of rest, having played on Thanksgiving at Detroit.
No, I agree. I think this is a blowout. Only one way to go with the favorite. That's it.
Well, guys, that's going to do it for this week's show. Remember, if you didn't already do it, click on the ad here on the site. Enter the draftstreet.com free Fantasy Football League contest this week, $300 of my money at stake. The top 7 finish in the money. Click on the ad. Use my last name, DeMarco, as the ad says. That gets you free entry into the contest. And it's instant gratification. The league is determined after the Monday night game, which we will probably sleep through, between the Chargers and Jacksonville. Also, remember, right here on the site, you can catch my daily video report where I've got money-saving discount coupon codes, free offers, and also in-depth analysis. I've won 11 of my last 14 NFL free picks there, and that's available as well here online. For Steve Budin, Al DeMarco here, and that wraps up week number 13, your countdown to kickoff show, and we will catch you again next week.